Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lady Blaxigan, and we are gonna continue the segment Princess and the Frog was Disney's message to Black women to divest, and they have been telling us to divest since 2009. We are at part 6, I want to say. I think this is part 6. I'm clicking around in my phone, y'all, just to see if it is part 6. Yes, this is part 6. And this is the segment in where we are breaking down Princess and the Frog and how it is about divestment for Black women. All right, so we left off with scene 25, where Mama Odie has tried to get Tiana to see that her destiny is to be with Naveen, but she's so focused on her restaurant. And so ultimately they find out that in order to come back as humans, that they need to get a princess to kiss Naveen. Naveen's princess would be Lottie, Tiana's friend, because her father is the king of the Mardi Gras parade. She is a princess of the Mardi Gras parade, but only until midnight. And so if they want to get Naveen to kiss Lottie to turn back human for the both of them, then they got to get back to Nola by midnight to make it happen, or before midnight, really. Because at midnight, she is no longer a princess. And so, we are at scene 26, back in New Orleans. In this scene, they hop on a boat in the river. And the crocodile finally gets a moment where he can, bask in his self-hatred. Because when they get on the boat, everybody is getting ready for Mardi Gras, and there is a band of Black musicians in their different costumes of different animals. And so him being an alligator, they mistook him for being a musician in an alligator costume. So he shows them that he can play the horn, and then goes with them to band together and make música. So that's music, in case nobody knows. And so then we transition into scene 27, where Naveen is ready to put his big man pants on and plans to propose to Tiana. So, still drinking my cocktail, y'all. It's the same day. And so, Naveen confides in Ray, and lets him know that he is in love with Tiana and plans to propose. He has had his epiphany. He is grounded in this new coming to be of himself. And so since Tiana, what Tiana wants to be happy is her restaurant, he is going to do whatever it takes to make that happen. He says that he's going to get maybe a job. He'll get a job, maybe 2, maybe 3 jobs. So he's just excited about this new found realization of himself. And he does confide in Ray, and lets him know that he does intend to propose to Tiana, because Tiana has brought the man out of him, and he loves her for that. And Ray is, of course, stoked as all get out. And so with that, we transition into scene 27, where Naveen tries to propose. Tiana feels very special. He sets up this cute little candlelit dinner, showing that he's used what she has taught him and created a little minced charcuterie board for them to devour, if you will, if you want to call it that. He has champagne. He has a candlelit. He has a little black moth that forms the shape of a tux tie, whatever you call a bow tie. There you go. It's just really cute. And Tiana feels very special, and she's never gone through this before. And so he tries to find his words to express his love for her. He babbles, he stumbles all over his words, he accidentally exposes himself in his dusty ways. And then as they are, as they're talking, they are riding on the boat, and Tiana sees the building that she wants to buy for her restaurant. So they go and they talk. She talks about all the possibilities of what will happen with the restaurant, and shares those dreams with Naveen. And at this point, Naveen realizes his position, and that he loves Tiana enough to do whatever it takes to make that happen. Not with him, like, in his new realization as a man that he needs to now, since he's cut off, get it through the mud to get 1, 2, or 3 jobs. He wants to make sure that she doesn't lose this restaurant, because he can't get 1 or 2 or 3 jobs. Tiana wants this particular restaurant and then this particular building, and unless she comes up with the money tomorrow, she won't get it. And so he just tells her that he loves, the quote is, "I love the way you light up when you talk about your dream." That's a direct quote from the film that Naveen tells Tiana when she goes down her dream road of and sharing with Naveen the possibilities of what this restaurant can bring, and how much this particular building means to her if she's able to close the deal on paying for it. So Naveen expresses, he says that quote to her, and then he mentions to her, "I promise this is gonna go down. I promise." And so in order for it to go down, he does have to marry a rich girl in order to make this go down. And so he realizes that, and so he tells her that he promises he's gonna make it happen, and then he leaves. And then we see in the background, unbeknownst to Tiana, Naveen is captured by the spirits that the Shadow Man has solicited from the other side to capture Naveen. And so that does happen in this scene in the back end, unbeknownst to Tiana. But she just thinks that he's simply walking away. And he was going to walk away to go gather up the rest of the crew so that they can head down to make to get this done. But in the midst of him trying to go and gather the rest of the crew to get things done, he's captured by the spirits. And so Tiana is left by herself, realizing this is the first time Tiana realizes that she loves Naveen, but she's very confused. Well, I think it is love, but I don't think she knows it's love. She's very confused by these emotions that she's having all of a sudden with Naveen exiting that scene. And so with that, we transition into scene 28. The wedding, the NOLA wedding. So Lottie in this scene, this is very quick, just transition of background information that's going down in the movie. Lottie is with the servant in disguise. And so she is he's hiding in the room because he is now his full, ugly, dusty self. Lottie's trying to figure out where he's at. We're about to start the parade and the simultaneous wedding of ours. So he says that he'll be back. And then of course we find out we are reintroduced to Naveen as the frog. He's captured by the spirits. The spirits, the other side spirits, give Naveen back to the Shadow Man. They are able to get more blood for their little voodoo necklace or whatever it is. I don't know what it is. If you guys know what that actually is, if it has to do with voodoo or hoodoo or whatever the case may be, let me know in the comments. But this necklace that they held Naveen's blood in, they are able to get more blood from Naveen and get the servant to turn back to Naveen in disguise. We transition into scene 29, where Tiana is back with Ray. Basically, Ray is excited because he knows that Naveen is trying to propose, and so he sees Tiana. He gets excited. He's like, "Whoa, what? Let me see the hand or whatever." And then Tiana's just like, "What are you talking about, right?" And so he's just like, "Oh, well, if he ain't saying nothing, I'm not saying nothing." And so Tiana's just like, "Okay, spill the beans." So he did. He lets her know that he wants to marry you. He wants to get a job. He doesn't want to marry Lottie. Blah, 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 blah. And of course, Tiana is excited because finally she realizes, oh, he was trying to propose. That's why he was like stumbling all over the place and not being able to find his words. And so she lights up. And then they set out to go and find Naveen. And then as they're going down, I want to say they're headed towards Bourbon Street where the parade is happening, and then they stumble upon the wedding on the float, and see that Lottie and the servant who is in disguise of Naveen are about to marry. Of course, this makes Tiana sad. It confuses Ray because he said, wait a minute, he was just talking about proposing to her, so this doesn't seem right. And so Tiana is sad, and she is heartbroken, and then gets, basically walks away from the parade. So then we transition to scene 30. Tiana is sad. Ray tries to seek answers and explains to her that this doesn't make any sense, that he was just talking about wanting to propose to you. And so Tiana is realizing in this moment, or thinking that she realizes in this moment, that wishing on stars is bullshit, and basically she projects her hurt onto Ray, and tells him that Evangeline is just this ball of gas millions of miles from here. It's not really Evangeline, it's just a star. Of course, this breaks Ray's heart, but Ray understands that hurt people, that she's just projecting, and he knows that this is just she's heartbroken. So he doesn't hold it against her for the hurtful things that she is saying about Evangeline, and Evangeline, the love of his life. And so let's see. Yeah, I put a note in here. He understands the pain of a black woman who keeps getting disappointed after getting so close to the thing that they want. And so Ray understands this. So he is like, I'm going to get to the bottom of this shit, right? So he seeks the truth, and he says, Evangeline, let's seek answers. He says to Evangeline, she's just hurt. She doesn't mean these words. But you and I, Evangeline, are going to go get the truth. So we transition into scene 31. We're back with Naveen being kidnapped and trapped. We see the New Orleans wedding happening, where basically the stakes are very high, because on one hand, if the servant in disguise of Naveen marries Lottie, that means that basically the Shadow Man gets all the power of New Orleans, and he's able to wreak havoc on the entire city, right? And so we have that as a come up for the Shadow Man, and so the stakes are very, very high to make sure that Lottie and this servant that she thinks is Prince Naveen don't get married. And so Naveen, being trapped, sees this happen and sees Ray, because Ray is seeking answers to understand what's going on. He hears Naveen's voice. He's trapped in this little chest of some sort that's locked, and Ray shapes himself into the form of a key and is able to unlock the trap. And Naveen hops out, stops the wedding and the voodoo man from being able to destroy Naveen and basically take over the city of New Orleans to wreak havoc on it. And so we are at scene 32. Naveen is able to push the servant off of that float that they were on, and so Naveen, the servant in disguise of Naveen grabs the actual Naveen, the frog, and runs back into his room to go and compose himself, quote unquote. And Naveen is being trapped in the servant's hand, asks him why he's doing what he's doing, and he's just like, I'm just so sick of the humiliation, right? This is a Dusty. I know he is a white man, but this is a Dusty. He could be a representation of a Dusty in Blackistan, but I know that white people have their own Dusties too. This could be Dusty in the white community. Either way, this is a Dusty. Basically wants a quick shot. Tired of getting humiliated. Tired of being shut down, basically. And so I'm gonna basically hurt people, because I'm gonna freaking help this Shadow Man destroy everything and get power over everything, because I'm so sick and tired of getting hurt, right? And humiliated, and I want a piece of the pie too, right? And so in the midst of this argument, Naveen manages to use his frog-like ways to snatch the necklace off of the servant and gives it to Ray. Ray then exits the scene to get rid of that necklace, right? And so we then transition into scene 33, where Ray escapes with the necklace. He gives it to Tiana and tells her to run. He gives it to Tiana. He says he is able to explain to her that the servant in disguise that she saw that hurt her is not Naveen, that he is the servant in disguise. He's working for the Shadow Man. He is able to explain to her the necklace and what it does, and he says to take the necklace and run. So Tiana, realizing that Naveen is still a frog, tries to run away with the necklace, Ray falls behind and fights off the spirits that are going after Naveen. He stays behind and tries to fight them off. But the voodoo man hits him and then squishes him. And so then we transition into scene 34. So I'm going to go ahead and end it here, y'all. And we're going to go ahead and make the final part and final thoughts. I only have a couple pages left because we are approaching the end of the movie. So we're going to end it here for this part. And we're going to make one more final part of this series. And then we're going to move on to the muddy waters, if you will, of the conversation. So please like, comment, share, subscribe. Thank you for listening, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Thank you for listening. Bye.